Hello, and welcome to the latest edition of Midweek with Meaning. This is going to be a topic about prep and integration, and I'll tell you a little bit more as we get further. So, as you're coming on, please say hello. Let me know where you're watching from. I'm really happy that you're here. If you're watching live, leave me some comments or some emojis, that kind of thing. It helps me know that you're picking up what I'm putting down. And if you're watching the replay, please put replay in the comments. If you're watching on Facebook, make sure you give StreamYard permission to show me who you are if you're watching. So I'm Angela Ward. I am the CEO of Guardian at the Gateway, where we help you to journey within and return renewed, revitalized. I'm really excited about this topic. So I'm grateful that you're joining me here today. So make sure you have a pen and paper, because you're definitely going to want to take notes this time, for sure. So again, please say hello if you're watching. Get your pen and paper. Hello, Ellie. So glad you're here. And our topic today is preparation and integration. Now, the reason that I wanted to talk about this is because of my orientation and training as a psychedelic nurse. However, I believe the concepts that we apply to psychedelic experiences can apply truly to any transformational experience that you might be preparing for, which could be something as simple as, gosh, my mom joked, it could be as simple as preparing for a colonoscopy, right? It could be kind of a transformational experience, as wide as traveling to Peru and doing 10 days of an ayahuasca retreat. There are certain things that we go through in life that can be little markers and opportunities for us to really surrender some parts that no longer serve us and amplify pieces that we're really wanting to call in. So in that process of the transformational journey, I really like to consider how we might optimize this experience. How might we really prepare in a good way? And how might we harvest the jewels, the fruits from the experience, and really put them into action into our everyday life? And again, this can range from everything. Perhaps maybe you're going on a meditation retreat. Perhaps you are taking your own personal little vacation break. Maybe this is even as simple as a ketamine-assisted therapy session, or really anything that we're bringing some intentionality to. So let's talk first about preparation. Preparation is more than simply doing the steps that are prescribed to you. So let's say that you were going to go on a yoga retreat or meditation retreat. They've probably given you a checklist of stuff to bring, and they're probably going to advise you maybe to do this or do that ahead of time. If you're going to do a medicine journey, they may recommend a particular type of diet, or there may be a recommendation to bring in more mindfulness, that kind of thing. So there's easily the checklist of stuff that we can do. However, there's also this crucial piece around mindset, what's known in the psychedelic world as set and setting. Setting is more about the environment that we create for this transformational experience. But the set is really about mindset and understanding what the intentionality is behind coming into this experience. Many people mistakenly believe, especially with psychedelic work, that it is the experience itself that is the thing. And if you're perhaps new to psychedelics, that absolutely makes sense because it's kind of bright and shiny. But the reality is they are peak experience that give us an opportunity to get some real clarity about who we are and how we might want to make some transformations in our lives more in service of our wholeness. Same can be true for any kind of intensive retreat. Maybe if you're doing an art therapy weekend, or you're doing some kind of, I think I mentioned yoga and meditation retreats, or even a corporate retreat of some kind, there's an intentionality there. So if you can bring into your mind beforehand, as you're preparing, to set an intention. Intentions are really compass orientations for us to really aim the arrow where we want to go. And if you've worked with me before, you absolutely have heard this. This is not new information, that we're aiming the arrow where we're heading. The place we are heading is not necessarily a physical outcome. I find it's much more powerful to have more of an embodied, felt experience that we're aiming for. And that's where we want to land after the transformational experience. So, as I said at the very beginning, the most basic way that you can start with an intention is to understand what you're wanting to surrender and let go of, or release, and what are you wanting to call in or amplify. These can be very simple one-word intentions. This can be a more comprehensive mental understanding of what those things are. So let's say perhaps you're going to go into a silent meditation retreat, and if this is your first one, perhaps you've just heard it might be good for you to try it and see. Going into the retreat without this prep part could put you in a position to be more held back or withdrawn. I find that when people don't really prepare, they come to an event, a transformational process, and they kind of go like this, like, prove it. Right? Instead of just bringing the full fuck yes into it, right? Like, okay, here's the meditation retreat, and I'm going to immerse myself in this process, say yes to the process, remain curious about what's happening through this process. So part of that is getting the mindset ready to go, getting clear about your intentionality and your willingness to engage and process this experience. So, of course, follow the instructions of whoever is leading your transformational process. If they're inviting you to have a journaling practice beforehand, or asking you to do a little breath work every day, or asking you to do some art, or asking you to, whatever the thing is, give up alcohol for 2 weeks, just do it. Just do it, man. It's part of, like, you're going through this thing. It's a rebirth, right? Like, just do it. See what happens. Stay curious. So another key component that I think is often missed in prep is taking care of our future selves. So if you're going to be going to a medicine retreat, or you're going to be heading away for a little while, whatever, prepare your space for your return home. This is crucial because let's say you've just gone to this really expansive medicine ceremony, or you've gone to this really powerful retreat of some kind, and then you come back and your house is a pigsty and you never took the garbage out, and now it's rotten and your house smells terrible and it's just like chaos. Not worth it. Prepare your space beforehand in this preparation to give you a soft landing. When we go through a transformational experience, it's really important to think about maybe as you're giving birth. And when you come home, you're in this sweet little postpartum phase where we invite in a lot of gentleness and a lot of opportunity to take new steps into the amplifying the direction that we're wanting to head and shedding some of that old skin. So in that prep place, take time to make your space and your environment that soft landing. Give yourself an opportunity to have food prepared, even if it's just a little bit, something that you have that's really simple and straightforward. Make your bed, freshen your bed, maybe even have it ready to go for you to be cozy and relaxed. So those are some components that you can use in the preparatory phase. Know that when you're getting ready to go through a transformational experience, be it any of the things that I've mentioned before, and maybe some that I haven't even thought of, once you make the decision to begin that experience, it starts this unrolling, like it starts happening anyway. I don't know if anyone can relate to that, but one way that I think about it is people when they're getting married. Once one chooses to get married and starts the wedding plans, it's like the train just starts leaving the station, and you better hop on because it's going. When someone is pregnant, birth is happening. You're just on the train. You just better catch the ride. So once we set that prep intention, we're headed that way. So let's make it, optimize it so you can get there. The second, well, actually, before I say that, is there any questions around the prep piece? So feel free to pop things in the question. Also, you're so welcome to get your bongers. I'm so glad that you got those. I'd love to hear what other initiatory, rites of passage, transformational experiences that you have either experienced personally or might be thinking of something you might like to try in the future. So please pop those in the comments, even if you're watching the replay. And now let's talk a little bit about integration. This is the whole point, and it's actually integration and embodiment. Integration is more of the opportunity to take what you've understood, what insights you may have had from the transformational experience, what downloads, if any, you got from that process or understandings, and putting them into action. Integration is putting them into action and bringing those pieces together. Embodiment is having it become kind of a standard way of living. So, for example, in your medicine session, you may have had an understanding about how a behavior you have is really unhealthy, or you have an insight that a behavior that you've maybe dipped your toe into could be really healthy for you. So in the integration piece, we'd want to start pulling that little thread through of information. We want to pull that into your daily practice or your weekly practice and reflection. Now, right after the transformational experience, the retreat, whatever it is, there's this opportunity where you have spent some time allowing yourself to be a little bit different than you are all the time, right? There's this kind of maybe expansiveness, or you've gotten to see yourself in a different way. So in that, like right after the process, right after the event, I love to have this soft landing. You've already prepared your space at home to help you land softly. And I also like to give yourself permission to let it land like you don't have to make meaning of your experience in the first 20 minutes after your experience. This is kind of this open place. Now, after someone gives birth, for example, there's still this portal that's kind of open, right? The connection between mom and baby is still in this kind of intertwined being place, and the differentiation hasn't fully pulled apart. So in the same way, in your immediate after your psychedelic experience, or after your retreat, or your whatever you've been participating in, your rite of passage, there's this kind of looser space. So it's lovely liminal space to let creativity flow, to let yourself be really soft there. There are some beautiful practices you might consider, including journaling practices or art projects, things to help you kind of harvest the treasure from that experience that isn't necessarily about making it a real linear or I don't know how to say that exactly, like transitioning it from this kind of ineffable space or experiential space into concrete language. So give yourself time in that immediate after effect to let it kind of percolate and land. While at the same time, you're going to start remembering that or identifying behaviors or actions or thought patterns that you're wanting to build in and or release. So as we're moving into the more of the integration phase, it's crucial to remember that, chop wood, carry water. After the ecstasy, the laundry, there's still life to be lived. And how might we bring some of that insight through? How might we tap into that intention that you set way back at the beginning in your prep and put it into slow and steady action into your daily life, into your practice, and into your relationships? So that's just kind of that's kind of an overview of prep and integration for these experiences that we all go through. I think it's hard for us to recognize sometimes the value of these peak experiences or these rites of passage or these transformational processes and how we might actually be able to use them in ways to help us grow and become more whole and balanced. If there are any questions, please feel free to add them into the chat. If there's any comments, I'd love to hear them. So those are some basic pieces. There's a few other components I wanted to just let you know about that are coming up. Also, welcome to my backyard. It is springtime. This is my rose bush that is very old and tall. This is a salt cedar. This crazy thing, it's going to look like a Dr. Seuss tree in just a couple weeks. It's going to be like puffy and pink and ridiculous looking. So welcome to my outdoor office. So let me give you some announcements, some things I'm super excited about. First of all, keep your eyes open because we are about ready to share with you the rebranding of Guardian at the Gateway. I'm super excited about this. All will be revealed. New logos, the whole thing. I've worked with a really fantastic company that I think was able to really distill the essence of what Guardian of the Gateway is about and help put that into more of a visual format. So that will be unfolding very, very soon. So please keep your eyes out and let me know what you think. Super thrilled. And then secondly, if you are interested in this type of conversation, we will be having the Mindful Journey, a psychedelic home use course, starting the first week of May. It's going to be 2 sessions where we're going to talk more in depth about particularly how to approach a psychedelic experience. So if you're working with ketamine-assisted therapy, for example, how we might prep, move through the journey space itself, and then also integrate. Keep your eyes open. We will be giving you more information either on my LinkedIn page, in the Unveiled Vitality Facebook group, or on our Mighty Network. So if you go to Mighty Networks and you look for Guardian at the Gateway, we will also have that information in there. Soon there will be a little number you can text to sign up, but we don't quite have all the pieces ready. So those are my 2 big things. I'm super excited for those upcoming events, and I look forward to talking with you all next week. So thank you so much for tuning in. Let me know what you're prepping for and what are you integrating. Super interested in supporting you through that process. All right, loves, blessings on your journey, and may all your transformational experiences up-level you. Mwah. Much love. Bye.